Endocrine masochists. Welcome back to another installment of r/no sleep. Here I am with author Accomplished Low 7889. Thank you for letting me read your stories. Title: I erase memories for a living, but keeping them for myself is ruining me. Like always, please like and subscribe. Like I said before, there's a large group of people that watch my videos that are not subscribed. I would appreciate it if you did subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Without further ado, let's get into it. I erase memories for a living, and I used to be the best at it. Last year, I won an award for erasing the memories of over 152 people, the highest in the company. I got a bronze plaque with my name on it and a gift card worth $50. Since then, I haven't known a moment of peace. The erasure procedure is actually quite simple. While I program the operation on the computer, the patient lies inside the machine, which closes around them. Inside, they must speak aloud, usually for 2 or 3 hours, about the event they wish to erase. As they recount their story in detail, we bombard them with images, sounds, and smells related to the event, keeping the memory vivid. After it ends, the patient passes out under sedation and wakes up at home with no recollection of the erased event or the procedure itself. The session recordings are saved in our database to ensure service integrity. The memories people choose to delete are completely gone. There were rumors of a new machine in development that could even create new memories to replace the old ones erased. I loved the job and the visa it provided, but it was tough and took a toll on me physically and mentally. Most of our clients sought to erase traumatic moments, usually caused by their own actions. The things I witnessed daily are disturbing. There was Devon, a retired mechanic, who wanted to erase the memories of his marriage, which had ended in a bitter divorce. And then there was Jenny, an addict, who wanted to erase the car crash she caused while intoxicated, killing her 3 children. Then there was Mark, who wanted me to erase all the torture sessions he had conducted over 10 years of overseas missions. He was particularly difficult to treat since I had to go into detail about each case, making the procedure last 10 gruesome hours. The military was actually our biggest account, and our clinics were strategically located near their facilities. All operators lived on the road, staying in hotels paid for by the company. And since most of us were immigrant workers, we had little contact with the outside. We lived for the job. And while I couldn't help but appreciate the benefits, the fact remained that the terrible events I had erased hadn't disappeared completely. They were still trapped in me. I had been the operator after all, the holder of the most wicked stories. They plagued me with nightmares and insomnia night after night until I reached my breaking point. One Sunday, I knocked on Rav's room, another operator, and confessed that I couldn't take it anymore. Quitting wasn't an option. The company had a strict contract that would force me to cover many of their costs. What I needed was a relief. Rav had a dangerous but intriguing idea. He proposed to perform the procedure on me, erasing the most traumatic cases I dealt with. "Just a quick session regarding those patients," he said, sipping the beer I had brought us, "and you'll be last year's model operator again." An operator undergoing an erasure procedure was strictly prohibited by the company and would result in immediate termination. But I was desperate, so I suggested we could do it at night when the clinic was closed. And so it happened. As my manager's favorite, I had a copy of the keys so I could open the establishment in the morning when he couldn't. We entered through the front door, cautiously checking if anyone was watching us from the street. Rav turned on the operation room lights, and I laid down in the machine as Rav began the initial programming. A few minutes later, he brought me the dream injection. The dream injection is the first step of erasure, where we administer substances into the patient's bloodstream to facilitate the procedure. It is also when the machine gets the DNA of the patient and generates a unique ID for database storage. The injection didn't hurt, and as I prepared for the long session ahead, Rav suddenly showed me, in disbelief, the warning displayed on the system. "Caution, ID 119184. This is a second erasure procedure." We operators knew exactly what that message meant. I had seen it before when problematic clients returned to erase new traumas. The warning meant that the person being scanned had already undergone an erasure before. A second erasure had a high risk of brain damage. But I had no idea I had ever gone through one. Rav was just as shocked as I was. We tried again, removing and inserting the injection, and the warning kept the same. I struggled to recall if there were any gaps in my memory, but nothing stood out. My life story had been a common escape from my strict parents and homeland to seek a better future in this country. just like many other operators who endured long hours, below average pay, and permission to stay in the country. Maybe we could check the database to see if there was actually a record. It was possible that it was just an error. I didn't have viewer access to check the recordings of erasures. I could only register new patients, but I thought my manager might have access, and I knew his password. I entered it, and it worked. Searching for the ID from the warning, we found a folder with my file. My hands went cold as I pressed play. The video wasn't from a clinic, or at least it didn't look like one. It was shot in a dark, cramped place with dirty floors and makeshift computer setups. The machine was much larger than ours, seemingly more powerful. I had never seen anything like it. The video began and the operator, a man in military attire, preparing the equipment for my arrival. When I appeared, I clearly wasn't there by choice. My arms were chained, my face blindfolded, escorted by 2 guards. Pale and thin, they threw me into the machine. Black marks covered my arms and legs. "Now do as we ordered," the operator commanded, "or tomorrow we'll try again when you finally break." The patient, myself, seemed confused and reluctant, but eventually began speaking. He started from the beginning, his earliest memories from childhood. It became clear to me that wasn't a session to erase a single event. It was to erase most, if not all of my life. The story he told in the recording was so foreign to me that I couldn't help but question if it was really me on the table. The man spoke of living in a country far, far away from where I believed I was born. About a loving father and mother I never knew. About a young sister and an older brother who taught him how to play chess. Man, this is wild, right? So real quick, the guy is an erasure operator, and he's stressed out about his job because it's very stressful. He has to take in all these stories, and he wants some relief, so he asks his buddy to help him do one on him, and then he stumbles across the fact that's already been done to him. He's learning that the life he has been living is a secondary life from the original one. It's deep. You got to keep up. If you don't, you're going to fall behind. He spoke of a war that began suddenly on a rainy winter night, of bombs that fell on his village, killing half of his family. The drones took care of the other half. Of helicopters and planes from which soldiers descended full of rage, taking him away blindfolded. Of months spent in the dark, eating scraps, treated like an animal by his captors. He told his whole story, right up to the moment he was in. After that extensive session, the machine emitted sounds and signals of completed erasure, and the patient passed out. Then a second phase began, something strange to me and Rav. Our equipment doesn't have a second phase. A green liquid started entering my veins, and the machine glowed differently, revealing something we couldn't fully see in video. We only understood what it was when another soldier entered the room to speak with the operator. "His new memory should be fully implanted in about an hour," the operator told the soldier. "Can you wait so we can grab lunch?" We stayed up until dawn watching the sessions we uncovered in the database. It wasn't the only one. Rav was from a village neighboring mine, just like dozens of operators. The rest came from different countries, from Southeast Asia to South America. They were all brought to this country, faceless and memoryless, grateful for not living in the dark past their enemies had invented for them. Thankful for their temporary visa and minimum wage. I never wept like I did that night. But the next morning, I didn't quit the job. In fact, I haven't to this day. Every night, for months now, Rav and I have been sneaking into the clinic, saving recording after recording to our own drive, waiting for the day it will all come to light. Since we can't bring our past back, we can at least try to build a new future here, even if it comes with fire. Man, that was good. That was a good story. Love the technological background to it. A lot of stories nowadays, you don't get that. It's good. It's like having wheat instead of white. You know, it's nice to switch things up. Very good writing style. I've looked at some of his stories. They're all really good. You should go check them out. In the description, there will be a link to his Reddit page where you can go check it all out at. Remember, I am the Meat Grid Masochist. Farewell.